Today's episode of the Saillant Edge is a special one. Host Antonio Saillant sits down with renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson and acclaimed director Scott Hamilton Kennedy for a timely and thought-provoking conversation centered on the documentary Shot in the Arm. Although this interview was conducted some time ago, its insights are more relevant than ever, exploring scientific reasoning, critical thinking, and the real-world consequences of misinformation. During the conversation, Antonio also references filmmaker Ted Kotcheff, who at the time of the interview was alive and well. Since then, Kotcheff has passed, making the moment a meaningful reminder of the lasting influence voices like his have had on film, culture, and storytelling. With clarity and curiosity, Antonio guides a powerful exchange, one that examines how misinformation takes root, how science responds, and why scientific literacy matters now more than ever. This is the Saillant Edge, where conversations don't just inform, they sharpen perspective. And now, here's Antonio Saillant.
In this explosive episode, I went head-to-head with astrophysicist superstar Neil deGrasse Tyson and Oscar-nominated director Scott Hamilton Kennedy to rip the lid off their game-changing documentary, Shot in the Arm. We're diving straight into the fire, unpacking the raw science, hidden history, and full-throttle controversy of vaccines. Tyson drops cosmic-level truth bombs that shatter myths in seconds, while Kennedy pulls back the curtain on jaw-dropping behind-the-scenes battles from the film's creation. This isn't just an interview, it's a high-voltage wake-up call from humanity's greatest triumphs to the misinformation wars raging today. We're delivering unfiltered, fact-driven firepower you won't find anywhere else. Buckle up. The truth is about to hit you like a meteor. Let's roll the tape. Shot in the Arm is a fascinating and eye-opening film that takes us on a journey through the past, present, and future of vaccines. It shows us how vaccines have saved millions of lives from deadly diseases like polio, measles, smallpox, and COVID-19. It also shows us how vaccines are developed, tested, and distributed around the world. And it addresses some of the myths, fears, and controversies that surround vaccines and their safety. My close friend, the legendary filmmaker Ted Kotcheff, who's now 92, significantly influenced my decision to get vaccinated during the pandemic. He recounted a childhood experience where a polio vaccine saved his life, emphasizing the importance of vaccinations throughout his life. Ted's wisdom and resilience, having overcome various challenges, convinced me to take the COVID shot for my safety and the community. Your documentary, Shot in the Arm, which focuses on vaccination stories and the history of vaccines, can dispel fears and doubts. Thank you for being on this show, and I hope that people can gain insights into the true importance of the vaccination through your film and personal experience. So thank you for being on this show.
And I know Ted. I actually know Ted Kotcheff. I haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah.
I have to get him the film.
Yeah.
And by the way, with that introduction, we're done with the interview. Let's go have a beer. I don't know what else to add to that.
How do you know? How do you know Ted? How do you know Ted?
Oh, I met him in my building years ago. We used to pass in a corridor for many years, and I was in the entertainment business. So the funny thing is, the doorman goes, "Hey, Antonio, don't you know who that guy is?" No, that's Ted Kotcheff. I knew his work. So to make a long story short, I left my business card, and he's the former executive producer of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. He gave me a call 2 days later. We had breakfast.
Yep, that's him, regular guy. Yeah, beautiful.
Since then, boom, we connected. So
love it. Thank you. I got to reach out to him. I might want to confirm an email address with you after this, Annie, but go ahead.
Sure. What inspired you to make a documentary about vaccines and vaccine hesitancy?
Sure. It was the surprise of seeing in 2019 that there were record-breaking measles outbreaks in a few pockets of the United States. Here in New York City, there was a state of emergency, Washington State, all across Europe. And I did my like probably 20-minute Google search to say where are we with the history of measles and the MMR vaccine in the United States. And in 2000, we'd almost eliminated measles from the United States. So how did we go from almost saying completely eliminating it to seeing these outbreaks? And I reached thousands of cases in very specific pockets that had been targeted, as I learned when I first reached out to Dr. Paul Offit, who informed me, Scott, this is happening because there are a handful of very clever disinformation merchants, anti-vaxxers, who convinced parents, scared parents into thinking that the MMR vaccine was dangerous, and that got them to get their kids vaccinated, and that lowered vaccination rates, that lowered herd immunity, and we saw these outbreaks. So that was the light bulb moment of how can this possibly be happening? And let's tell that story. So I met Dr. Paul Offit. He introduced me to Dr. Tony Fauci and Dr. Peter Hotez on the pro-science side, but I wanted to tell the story of who are these disinformation merchants too. So we put the camera in front of the OG, Andrew Wakefield, and his fraudulent study that started all the scare around MMRs. Del Bigtree, who is one of the largest presence on social media and the interwebs. And now the sort of top of the pyramid is Robert Kennedy Jr., long before he threw his hat into the ring, first as a Democrat and now as an independent. And we filmed
for president of the
United States. And we filmed with all of them, and we thought we had a very interesting and timely and fascinating and complex film. And then COVID happened, and it really went to this other place where it took us a long time through the process of filming and editing to see that it really became a film about the social contract. What is our responsibility as an individual, not just to ourselves, to our family, to our neighbors, but to our entire community, our state, our country, and the planet, and how fragile our relationship is with the social contract currently.